Let's get it.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm so glad for you guys to join us.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Social Drinkers Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Mel.
And I am Sean P.
Woohoo! And we are the Social Drinkers.
Yes.
We will have a fill-in seat over there for our imaginary KT. He's not here with us today.
He's a little under the weather. He had
He had a boo-boo.
podcast-related injury.
Yeah. He got drugged from that last
fell off the
episode we did. And speaking of which, if we can definitely open up to discuss the podcast that we had in regards to Carly Russell and some of the feedback and the comments that had. And I'm hoping that I can speak for us when
Absolutely.
I say we're not here because you look like us, that we have to agree with you.
We
We're here.
don't.
Right is right and wrong is wrong.
I don't care if you're
And
green.
there you go. And we will be on that kick as long as we're in existence.
All right.
So right is right and wrong is wrong.
We're not here for you to agree with us. Also, by the same token, especially if you get on some of our social media platforms and you have something to say, you notice that, I responded to one person. I didn't get upset or anything about it. Everybody is welcome to their opinion.
Their own personal
Our
opinions.
opinions are just our opinions. That doesn't make us right or wrong.
Exactly.
However, if you feel strongly about something and you really want to voice that, everybody, you have an open invitation to come on the show and discuss it. I think sometimes when we get into disagreements online, we're in the habit of typing it out. The problem with typing it out is you have a whole lot of time to think about what you're going
Right.
to say before
That's
you hit
true.
send.
Yes.
It's a little bit
Very
more
true.
organic if you can come on and we can really discuss things.
That's right.
And-
That's right.
But yeah, it's all love. All love.
It's all
Yeah.
love.
And for those that supported that video, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Woo, thank
Yeah.
you.
Also, one more thing.
Come on.
Getting a decent amount of views, but it doesn't really fit the subscription. So if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, just go to the channel and hit subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Mainly subscribe. That kind of benefits us in the long run. It doesn't cost you a penny. Also, it's just going to give you an update and a notification when we actually post new videos and stuff. So I think you'll probably dig that.
You'll
Yeah.
dig that
Yeah.
really well. You'll dig that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our content is fire. It's authentic. What you see is what you get. These are real live conversations, and we try to bring topics to each and every one of you that are relatable to our lives. And with that being said, y'all, let's get open and honest
we go.
about this
We'd love to hear from you.
Riverboat Brawl. My first question is, who do y'all think this affected the most?
It affected everybody the most. I honestly, to me, in my opinion, because the what I did read upon is the ones that were on the boat, the quote unquote vanilla folk that were on the boat, they actually own a store in the town that they were in.
Vassar Market.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put y'all
Yes,
out there like that.
yes. And they have some peculiar people coming through there.
So you believe in the narrative that people are coming in and supporting them simply because of what happened to them on the
Well, no, they had a guy that came in there with a KKK sheet on his head.
I saw that picture. You think that's real?
Well, it was a whole video.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't just a picture; it was a whole video.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if you're coming in with a video, come on now.
Yeah, but I mean, can that be attributed to them, or if somebody just, I'm gonna do this,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't
Cause trouble.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a direct
That's
reflection
true.
on them.
That's
so.
just not a direct response. But
Because
I mean,
my thing is, if they got their ass with, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, Mel, go ahead, baby.
Yeah, no. That was my whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you own businesses.
Right.
So why would you come and because you feel like you're privileged now? In my mind,
Yeah.
you feel like you're privileged
From the
because
ass whooping?
there was another because you felt like you could do what you want to do before you got that ass whipping.
Oh, yeah, but they were corrected.
Yeah. So before we get into the ass whipping, I want to hear the views on, because we're definitely going to break the whole
break
thing
it
down.
down.
Like,
And I'm gonna see how much of this I can get edited into the video.
Yeah.
But I know some of it is getting kind of flagged.
Yeah.
I can't show the lady getting busted in the head.
No, I wouldn't
right.
show
Come on
that.
with the
I wouldn't show
chair,
that.
but-
And,
I mean-
that's not what we're condoning anyway.
No,
You know.
but as
so-
long as you show the swimmer,
yeah,
long as you
absolutely.
show-
Aquaman.
Aquaman. Yes.
Aquaman.
So who do y'all think that was affected the most from this happening? Who do y'all think was affected the most in all honesty?
it's a hard pill to swallow. I don't know, but
Okay.
when dude threw the hat up in the air, that was like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, that
I need
was
y'all
the
to come.
call. That was
I
the
need y'all to
call.
come.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that was like a predetermined thing or if he did it out of like, you know what, screw this job.
Yeah.
But
I think he more so did it like screw this job.
job.
Yeah.
And then just,
Yeah.
But I kind of.
Because it took the guy. I was kind of like, where's the dude? The dude that took off running after he did that and he started fighting. The dude that took off running at the top. He ran all the way down,
And
came
down the
all
ramp.
the way down. I was like, damn, where is he running from?
Yeah.
But after he ran from there, I was like, oh, okay, he came down to help. But I don't think the dude threw it up to say,
That's a
y'all
signal.
come help me.
Yeah.
I think that's just us.
Yeah, I think going forward it's going to be a signal.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's
gonna
a
be a
whole
signal.
signal. That's
It
a whole
is.
signal.
So,
So-
who do you think did
who-
it affect the most?
I don't think it affected or benefited anybody at all.
I could agree.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of things. I think what it did, though, it kind of lifted the spirits of a group of people that feel like they've been marginalized. And since nobody got seriously injured, no one got killed,
Yeah.
Thank you.
we can
Jesus.
actually enjoy
Yeah.
this
Yes.
without a
No
whole
one
lot of,
Yeah.
without a big guilty conscience.
Yeah.
So we hear so many stories about us being disenfranchised. We hear so many stories about things happening to black people where we getting mishandled or manhandled in public. And now we come across a situation where one of ours is getting beaten.
Because
I mean,
there was
this-
a bunch of them on him.
Yeah, this was really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What started as a tussle between him and one other person, once he got the upper hand on that, then a lot of people's true colors came out.
Yeah.
And then they started just really.
Because it was at one point, it was like 4 or 5 people on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, or more. I
And-
thought it
Yeah.
got up. It was 6 total.
And
That's
let's
what I
not,
thought, unless I'm wrong.
I want to give an honorable mention to, they're calling him Mark.
Who is Mark?
On social media, but the little white guy
was
with
trying
the
to
dock
stop
walk,
it.
and he tried to stop it, and
Yeah.
they swung on him. He was like, "Okay, too much."
Yeah. He tried.
He tried.
Yeah.
But I think to see all of us come together like that,
Yeah.
and not just we just came together
Yeah.
in the most over the top, the grandest of fashions. We had
Yeah.
Aquaman jumping from a boat and swimming to the dock.
I mean, he
We got-
swam to the situation.
And then we have the 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Then we have the guy that you were talking about. I mean, Mel talking about coming from the top and running down. And once that riverboat docked, the whole crew came out, and then you had random people coming in and joining into it. That was just to see people come together. I usually hate to see niggas niggering. And when I first saw the video, that's what I thought it was.
That's what I thought it was at
I
first.
was like,
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
really don't want to see this because I get tired of the media putting us out here acting a
In a
certain
Like we're
way.
box.
thugs.
Like we're
Yeah,
thugs.
yeah.
Like we're
And
straight
then
up
I looked
thugs in
at
a
it and I was
box.
like, oh, this was noble.
We
Yeah.
were not
Yeah.
the thugs at the point.
Yeah.
And so that really felt good.
Yeah.
And seeing the extra video and the angles, it kind of added to the whole lore of the thing. And I thought that
Man,
was
how
cool.
many angles did they have?
Because it was videos coming from
Them
different
jokers
people,
had some
because it was people
angles.
everywhere. It was people actually on the boats.
gosh.
It was people on the docks. It was people everywhere.
Everywhere.
So-
when I saw the angle of the dude that, I mean, again, I quote unquote, I don't condone that part
Yeah.
of where he hit the lady with the chair.
Yeah.
But when I saw the angle of that,
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God. Who put all this together?
Yeah. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Well, if y'all don't mind me interjecting on what my thoughts were for who it affected the most. So, in my opinion, we're going to talk about our people of non-color. It affected them tremendously in it because all white people don't agree with what they did. A lot of white people don't agree with what
As
they
they should
did.
not.
They have came public with it. They've came forward with no shame that they totally feel horrible on what was done, and they got what they deserve.
Right.
So, and when I say they're affected the most, like the people who are innocent that are of non-color white people, how many of us will then turn the tables on them when they had nothing to do with it and they don't agree with it?
Right.
So that's an effect. The other effect for us is we literally, as you guys have said, we came together, and we came together as one. Of course, we don't condone violence, but enough is enough. It's time for us to stop being on the losing end. At this point, the whole idea that they didn't even care, and they didn't care. They had no care. That I think that man was 67 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
security guard?
He's not the security guard. They said he was the co-captain of the boat, not a security guard. That's what Roland Martin is reporting, that's who he was. And from what I understand, he was a little older, but I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on his age because I haven't found out. But my whole point of it, one person that you guys will jump on opposed to, and it takes all of you just because, so they tell us to follow the rules, right? This is where we're affected. They tell us to follow the rules. If y'all follow the rules, certain things won't happen to y'all. So this particular man of color was the one actually asking them to follow the rules. So what is the difference? That we're known that we have to follow the rules.
You feel like you're privileged.
Exactly. But other races, y'all don't have to follow the rules. Like, and then you react to someone telling you, hey, you can't dock here. That was for main reasons. It wasn't y'all dock. That wasn't where y'all were supposed to dock at. It was a bigger boat coming in holding 200 and something people. And from what I understand, they were mainly black people. They had no incident. These people were just enjoying themselves, not bothering anyone. And
they were in a smaller boat.
Who
The
white
Vanilla
family?
Yeah. They were in a private, smaller boat. They were in a smaller boat. Yeah.
I mean, irregardless. I mean, just like if we're right around the downtown, there are places you can't park.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I'm in a car or a bus.
But that's when you feel like you're privileged.
Yeah.
So you feel like this is something that they've been doing, and they feel like they can just do whatever.
What would give you the reason to say, I don't need you to tell me anything. I could park where I want to park. I could dock where I want to dock.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you're privileged.
But would they have had the same effect if that was a group of white people on that boat? Would it have went in that same situation? Because they saw the black people that they were trying to steer them in to come in. If it was a group of white people on that boat, would they have reacted in the same manner of parking there and blocking it, and this is my spot? You know, these are just things to think about.
Because if alcohol is involved, I think that no matter who told them, then there would be some pushback.
Yeah. So you don't think it was racially motivated? You think it was just some people drinking and they just did whatever they wanted to do?
So I don't want to go as far as saying it wasn't racially motivated.
Yeah.
The reason why it was mobile. No, it wasn't mobile. Montgomery.
Alabama. Yeah.
Of course, this wouldn't be on the forefront of their mind, but that pier, that little area right there was a big hotbed for slaves. The slave trade, the biggest in the country at the time.
Yes,
possibly.
it was. No, it was. You're right.
So I don't think they came there and said, "Hey, let's park where we want to park because this is the slaves." So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think alcohol possibly
plays a lot,
but the whole idea of I have the privilege to do whatever I want to do. Played into it, and perhaps this nigga is telling me what to do. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah,
played a part.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but they really miscalculated.
They really
they didn't do that.
And the great thing of it is, and people can hate me, I don't care, man. To see us all come together for something that's right. Now, when that shit fucking wrong, I ain't condoning nothing. Yeah. But this was to protect this man. Like,
because he was actually getting jumped at that point.
And they could have fucking killed him, and they had no thought I don't think, because let's be honest, a lot of times we portray ourselves We taking out our cell phones. Y'all know, y'all watch these videos all the time where other black people are filming other black people getting stomped by other black people, which is so fucking embarrassing to me. Let's just be honest. And this was a time where to the rescue. You're not gonna do somebody that looks like me.
Like that in my presence.
Any kind of way. In my presence. It's no longer acceptable for you to freaking do this to me.
Okay, let me ask this question to both of y'all.
Yeah.
It goes to both of you. Sean.
Oh, Sean, you go first.
Sean, no. Sean.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, had you been on that pier and you saw what was going on and you saw that this man, this older gentleman was getting actually stomped out by 6 people, would you have gone and helped?
My first thing would have been to call 911.
Okay.
The second thing, if the people who know me.
I'm waiting.
Hey, Liz. Y'all already know. I'm going to come out with a black eye. I done got my ass whooped before. It won't be the first time. Probably won't be the last time. There is no way that I can stand around and just watch my people. Now, I wouldn't have probably went in there with no fist, because if got my nails done, I would have been the one with the chair. I would have been the one making history.
Exactly.
You know, but especially against another man, because those were men.
Those were men, and a couple of Karens in there, but it was men.
Exactly. But on that the first initial stint, those were men. Then a woman came over and
at least 2.
Yeah, at least 2 at minimum, and we would have had a problem. We would have had a problem.
Okay. Sean?
I keep thinking about that guy when they first jumped him and he ran and had to come down. That would have been me.
The guy that came down.
They came down like, oh, no.
Yeah, y'all not going to do that.
I would have ran down for that.
Yeah.
Now, had I walked up when the whole thing was going on, I would just watch.
kind of step back.
Yeah,
but when the initial thing would have happened.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I could control that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the same way. This is the reason why I'm asking the question.
Yeah,
because if I would have just stood there and saw the man because all I think he did was dock their boat.
Yeah,
or
that's
tie
what he
it
did
up.
was trying to get it
right.
I think they said he was trying to move it. He was
pushing
pushing
it.
He was moving it out the way so they could dock. Yeah,
and if I that's
saw all
the
of that from the beginning.
Why I asked the question. If I would have seen that from the very beginning and didn't see them to come and fight him, yeah, I would have.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
Because at first you wouldn't have known, like if they were jumping him, what he could have. Like Levi told me, he said this man could have touched somebody's kid. He could have did this. You wouldn't have known. But if you're there from the beginning, seeing what took place,
just watching this man move their boat to the side or tell them, hey, you need to move, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. And they move him, and then they start fighting. Yeah, we truly
I couldn't have let him.
I couldn't have.
I couldn't have watched him get jumped. We would have got beat up together.
Exactly. I would have got my
or something like
and
that.
And a couple of Karens came down there and they're fighting. And then, what are you fighting for?
Exactly. What do you have to do with this?
Nothing.
But then let's talk about, why is it okay that a woman can throw a punch at a man and there is a expectation that he should not defend himself? I am a firm believer. If you don't want to get hit, don't touch no man. So don't touch nobody.
Equal rights and equal lefts.
That's what I say. I'm just being honest.
I'm sorry. That's what I've told my sons. You do not initiate no swing, no punch, no whatever to a woman. But if she feel like she can put her hands on you. She that froggy.
Yeah.
I think there are a group of men out there, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I fully believe in having women locked up.
Yeah.
So if you put your hands on me, I'm calling the police.
Yeah. You should.
I don't care. You can be my girlfriend. You can be my wife.
You should.
I need you to understand that, but there are men out there that just don't distinguish the two.
Yeah.
I think what I'm afraid of, if I'm mad enough to hit you, that I can hit you and hurt you.
Yeah.
Ultimately, even if she in the wrong, I'm going to pay the consequence for that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want those consequences. But once again, there are men out there that just don't really care. So
but she's assaulting you. Women can cause harm to men as well.
Women can hurt.
Yeah.
Women can kill you.
It can sting. Very rarely are you going to find a biological woman that can,
I like how you did that.
That can hit a man and actually
Barry White us. Oh my gosh!
Well, if I made it sound sexy, it's less offensive. So if he, she, them, or her could hit you and hurt you.
Yeah.
All that.
No, but it would take a really powerful woman to hurt a man and just really fuck him up. It really doesn't take a whole lot for a man. He doesn't even have to use 100% of his power to hit a woman and really cause some serious harm.
Yeah.
So I'm cognizant of that, and I think most men are.
Yeah.
And also, most men just don't really want to.
You don't want to, but it depends on how that woman is coming in at you. If they have weapons and things of that nature, at some point you have to defend.
We're saying hand to hand.
Yeah, well, hand to hand comment.
Because
I would try to restrain her.
On the video, actually had any weapons or anything.
No,
like
that was a blessing.
Down and thinking, oh, you better get the hell. No, that ain't gonna work.
So
that ain't gonna work. It was some Karens and some Keishas on there.
Also, I don't give I really don't. I don't object to the chair.
Yeah.
So here's
me either.
So here's the thing. Even if it was one of those metal chairs, but I think it was plastic.
Yeah.
It looked plastic.
That shit, that didn't hurt that bad.
No, it did.
But if
she got her a little spanking,
it ain't like he gave her a concussion.
No,
it just depends
it just
on how you swung
good.
The optics of it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
depends on how you swing it.
Well, yeah, if you swung it sideways, we'll hit the metal, but it was flat.
Yeah,
man, it was just like he booped her snoot.
Yeah, I like how you put that. Because they said there was no serious injuries. That's been
They
reported.
got an angle of the cops watching that whole shit.
Yeah,
and they stood back and watched.
But see, but hold on.
Until that chair came out, they were like, now we got to break it up.
We got to
wait a minute. Not wait. And so y'all, we putting this on record. Just like because they knew Caucasian people were involved, they came in with pepper spray, had that same energy if that was all black people. Because y'all want to come in with guns blazing with us.
So I will do this.
Come on, give us something.
And if I can find it, if YouTube allowed me to upload it, I will show you the video when the brothers did the little skip, the hop skip.
Yeah, that was cool.
Those were white cops behind them.
Yeah.
And they let them rock.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
but that's because they already knew it was white folks involved in it. They didn't want them to be injured.
No, they allowed the black people to go and fight. I'll show the video.
I know that. But I'm saying when they did say, enough is enough, they had pepper spray. But I'm saying when it's black on black again,
I get you.
If it's a brawl and it's black folks, all black, I want them to have that same energy. Yeah. Bring fucking pepper spray.
I think the
diffuse it like you did with that one. That's what I'm saying.
The whole thing with I personally, the way I saw it is they kind of just let everybody just fight.
They did.
And honestly, they stood back and watched.
It wasn't until the chairs came out. It's like, okay, now we got to break it up.
They did.
But there's a lot of instances where, black folks are doing their thing, and they come out with the pepper spray. It's not always the guns and stuff.
I want them to have that energy like when there is no weapons and there is peaceful protest or there is things that are going through where they just squabbling. Like, it's because there's so many cases that it's not.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It looked like the little white guy, the little vanilla officer looked at the little black one like, Desmond, look. They finna get it.
They was waiting to see.
I think they were enjoying it.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
It was a good little battle.
Yeah.
I like the memes that came out of it.
Oh, it was a lot of
We got a playlist now on Spotify.
Yeah.
Or was it Apple Music or Spotify?
Oh, man, it's like, all of them.
Nook If You Buck ain't just been played like this. It's just...
This will make history.
First of all, they have a gift with the dude with the chair.
Which one?
And the dude that swung, one of the dudes that swung a chair, and the dudes that swimming, they have a gift with that on there.
And if y'all looked further, the young man that was swimming that went to the rescue, his publicist, he had to wind up getting a publicist because he lost his shoes. He got so much money, Cash App. The outpouring love for him. I don't know what shoes he had on, but they made it known that he lost his shoes.
Oh,
he was getting so many Cash Apps coming in. He had to cut his phone off because the Cash Apps were coming in, and he now has a publicist. And they did
I thought he now has a pair of shoes.
No, well, he got a whole bunch of pair of shoes. He can do a lot of stuff.
Oh my God!
People were so impressed with his.
Because I want to know who this dude really is.
He's supposed to be a young guy.
Did he just see the fight and just jump in the water?
He was on the boat. He was on the other boat.
He's a crew member.
He was a crew member. Yeah, that was his coworker.
I think he was seeing his
Co-worker.
getting jumped.
Yep.
So he just jumped in the water. But
Okay.
Yep.
Now that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. Because if
So
I see my
yes.
coworker
But they
getting
also
jumped on,
he's 16.
He's a
They
young
have
guy.
A picture of him in the gym on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So he's in great shape.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
to be.
I love it when they
'Cause he
sped
Michael
up
Phelps.
the video.
He
Yeah.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
But they call him, was it Aquaman?
Aquaman.
Michael
Yeah.
B. Phelps.
oh my
They
God.
called
The
him
thing
some
is,
of
I told you, we
everything.
just literally just got to talk about, I can't swim.
Yeah.
I jumped in the water, the whole narrative, be there. Man drowns trying to come to his defense.
But he was in the Navy, y'all.
No, I know. I still can't believe that.
4
But he
years
was in the Navy,
and he
y'all.
can't swim.
And he can't swim.
Let's celebrate the fact that there were no weapons, there were no guns.
No.
There were weapons.
Well,
I mean,
you know
that
what,
chair
you know
is
what
a
I mean.
weapon,
You know, but there was
physically,
none
no
used.
pistols, no
Yes.
knives,
Yeah,
no
deadly
none of
weapons,
that.
Yes,
No.
deadly weapons. I'll use
deadly
that
weapons.
word. I'll use
You
that word.
actually literally got your ass whooped.
That's right.
And
That's
I'll
all
say this,
it
man,
was.
in defense.
And you live to tell another day about it.
Yeah, that ain't good. Because, I mean, for black people, yeah. But for white folks, man, they got, man, do you see the, man, they, you know what? I would love to have been in the car with them on the way home.
Yeah.
And knowing
That'd been a
that
quiet conversation.
this has
How did it go, Sean?
This has become cemented in history
Yes,
as
indeed.
one of the
has
greatest
been, yes.
racial ass whoopings
Yes.
of all time.
With
Badge
not a
of
weapon
honor.
in
and
the
the thing
mid,
is, it's not
but
even
a chair.
like where it could be on CNN and where the host will be like, "We have sad news tonight. There was a brawl on the." It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
The whole demeanor was like, "Man, look at this bullshit."
It was a whole ass whooping.
There's a lot of white
And
people
that's
on TikTok, and I don't know if they're virtual signaling or not, but it's yeah, they fucked around and they found out. Now, you know. And so you have
Did?
a lot of people that look at it like this, and whether it's genuine or not, they're looking at it as in 5 to 6 adults
Yeah.
jumped one man.
One man.
Now, how the crowd looked at it or interpreted it
Yeah.
as people came to their defense, man,
Yeah,
and it was
came to his defense.
it was beautiful.
And
Yeah.
honestly, as they should.
Yeah.
If you see this one man
Yeah.
fighting one guy,
No
and
matter
then
what the race
all
is.
of them, right? No matter
Well,
to
so
me,
let me ask you
honestly,
that. So you're there,
I'm there.
and it's a white security guard. Well, everything is exactly the same, but the security guard was white. Do you think we would have got the same response? No, we. Do you think there would have been the same response to the issue?
It wouldn't have.
So you think a lot of it does have to do with the fact that this security guard was black and that white people were jumping him,
Yeah.
and things would be a lot
And
different
then
if
you
it
were
wasn't like
in
that.
what, Mobile, Alabama? You said, yeah.
Is it
there has-
Mobile or Montgomery?
I think it was in Montgomery.
I think it's Montgomery.
She said racists looked at what actually happened and they were so mad because Willie D say he had his ear to the street and they are actually talking about retaliation.
Okay, how are you going to
Talking about
retaliate
her.
though?
Yeah.
I don't understand
I mean,
how.
what are you
So
retaliating
here's
on?
my thing, and with respect to Willie D, because I'm not going to go against anything he said, but this is for black people. Fuck retaliation.
Yeah. What
No,
do you
he's
need it
talking
for?
about the whites
No,
because he
that-
got whooped. Okay, just to make sure.
That's exactly what
Okay,
I'm talking about.
Okay.
Fuck retaliation. Sometimes,
Yep.
man, we do things that's in our best interest with some type of fear of retaliation.
Yeah.
There's ways around that. This is America.
Yeah.
I stand by that. I love my country, and there are certain freedoms that's afforded to everybody, no matter what color you are, black or white, Mexican, Asian, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I am a firm believer in the Second Amendment. And what we need to do is to be ready for any type of retaliation. Don't
Yeah.
live your life being afraid of that.
Yeah.
there could be rumors. There could be people that's out there that can say they're going to do this, that, and the third. All it was an ass whooping.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
They had no right to do it.
In the grand scheme of things, it was an ass whooping.
And at some point, you need to just take that ass whooping.
Take the ass whooping and keep it moving,
Exactly.
just like we have for hundreds of years.
Yep.
Right.
But these young folks are a little different. Like the stuff that's been taken in the past.
No,
they not. It's a take.
I agree. But we talking about white folks.
Yep. They
So-
better recognize they're not going to
Also,
take.
don't let this gas you up.
Don't let it gas you.
You had a lot of fat white drunk motherfuckers on the pier getting beat up.
Yeah.
Some of these white boys out here it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think everybody need to cool their heels.
That's
This is
right.
an incident. It was a moment in time, and it's over. If somebody feels like they need to retaliate over what amounts to just a fight,
Yeah.
if you that sensitive
good old
about
fight.
it, yeah.
But how many of them actually can
What?
fight
White people?
without bringing out a knife, a pistol,
Or a noose.
or something? How many of them actually in Montgomery can actually fight?
So here's my deal. Well, here's my point. Let's not get caught up in the idea that just because you're white that you can't fight.
No, because I have a bunch of white friends that actually can fight.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, to me personally, if you have to jump someone, your ass can't fight.
But that's why I make that distinction.
That was the whole point.
That was
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So there's people of every race and creed.
Yep.
Right.
You saw a little Asian guy or a Filipino guy, I'm gonna whoop his ass, and they're trying to be Pacquiao.
He beat
Right.
your
He beat everybody in the bus.
And that's my whole point.
Yeah.
That's why I make it where even if you hear rumors of white folks wanting to retaliate, well, man, this ain't the time for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let's take it as a learning experience for everybody.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry. Did I do that?
Oh, that's because you're on
Oh,
speaker.
Yeah,
The
I'm on
Bluetooth.
speaker.
Bruh, I thought it was a bunch of people coming out of the hall. I'm like,
To come get you.
I'm like, what we saying? Hey, I said white people. No.
Because now he's scared, y'all.
No, I don't want the average black person to look at white people like they can't fight.
Right, and I don't.
And mess with people. Nobody shouldn't be messing
Yeah,
with anybody.
because
Everybody should be respecting
And somebody,
everybody.
I saw, boy, she cutting up
She is
tonight.
cutting.
I am.
Ike, you gonna find her or you gonna find her?
He gonna find me. I gonna find me.
Find her
y'all.
ass.
I'm gonna let it slide this time.
Ooh, I'm just trying to get on there because Sean had told me to look at the live numbers.
I think
You gonna have to find both of us.
Who?
Throw me. Talking about me too, because I said, can you look at the live to see?
Nah,
what the
that's all on
comments
you,
are
Mel.
so
If I
we can
find somebody, that's
respond?
gonna be you.
It is me. I ain't gonna lie.
Fellow black people,
Yeah.
don't get shit twisted.
Yeah.
Like, just because you have melanin, that you can go around beating up white folks.
That's right.
There are some country ass white folks that will beat your
They
ass.
will whoop your ass.
This has just like his niggas. I'm sorry, black folks out here that will beat your ass.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Those always.
But I'm specifically talking about the retaliation aspect of it, and the reason why I brought that up is historically we have been against owning guns, and we've been against because of the way our community is set up, where we have a lot of gun violence. So black folks aren't necessarily on the side of just owning guns and stuff like that and armoring ourselves. Be physically fit, own firearms, believe in the Second Amendment, and you'll be fine. It doesn't matter whether or not somebody's going to retaliate or something like that. And until somebody actually does something, it's just words. It's just a rumor.
Yeah.
Just be prepared for when it happens.
When it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
I personally don't think this was that serious.
Me either.
Where it's going to happen. This was funny.
But charges were picked up on 3 of the guys. Yeah,
So-
they for assault aggregate was it? I mean, not aggravated assault. It was some type of assault.
It wasn't with a deadly weapon.
No.
It was just assault.
I wouldn't trip if they just didn't charge nobody.
Yeah.
You know, it was a
Because
great,
everybody, and honestly, it was a bunch of people that should have been charged. But
I mean, you know,
why charge
so
them? It was a
I
fight.
think if you want to chop it up on a racial level, black people won this.
Well, no, I
Hands
think
down.
they should be charged. If we said Carly should be charged, they were in the wrong. They should be freaking
but
charged.
they paid the consequences
pay
on the.
nothing.
Oh, they did.
Who?
They didn't
did.
pay.
What?
They didn't
you talking
pay.
about-
The people who initiated it.
Oh, the people that initiated, right? Miss Joanne said, "We are not outnumbered. We were out organized."
I agree,
Okay,
Joanne.
I like
Miss
that.
Joanne, I
Totally
agree with
agree.
you wholeheartedly.
I like how you worded
Totally
it.
agree.
So we are 13% of the population. And actually, I think
In
it's a little
Montgomery?
less than that. No, in the United States.
Okay.
I think it's like 12.7 the last I checked.
Yeah.
But even if it's 13 straight up or
Okay.
slightly over, we have the capability of policing our own, taking care of our own, and that's what we need to do. I think strength in numbers and us taking care of each other was shown
Right.
in this incident.
Yeah.
Aside from beating up white people, which I don't necessarily condone in and of itself.
Exactly.
But what it showed was us taking care of us. We have more opportunity to take care of us outside of what happened in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
We have these
But we
instances
don't. We
every
don't.
single day
Yep.
in the hood and just in life.
Yep.
And we don't do it. We use our superpowers for bullshit.
Yep.
So, like Miss Joanne said, is being out organized.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not about power. It's not
Yeah.
about strength.
No.
Yeah.
Numbers are on our side, but we also have the ability to take care of each other.
We do.
And this kind of just really
we
nails
don't.
home
Yeah,
that
it does.
we do have the capability of doing this.
Right.
And we need to look at each other more as brothers and sisters and do the things that we're
And
supposed
we
to do.
don't.
Yes.
Instead of being so, it's not jealous. It's being so hateful to each other.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always
Yeah.
preached against,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of
I agree.
underlines that. And I really enjoyed this. It made me feel really
Yeah.
good on the inside.
Yeah. It
man.
did. It did for
Yeah,
me
it
too.
did.
I'm not gonna even. I'll be lying.
Honestly, when I first looked at it, I was like, these dudes here just
Right.
doing too
Yeah.
much.
Right.
And then when you start really looking into it,
Yeah.
you're like, wait a minute. He wasn't even doing nothing. Yeah.
And especially when we come from always seeing us against each other.
Yeah.
So much. But what do we do from here? What are the steps that do we take from this point on to not make this a one-time event? Like, how do we make this a way of life? How do we change the trajectory of how we treat each other and being there for each other and being a full community? What do we do?
We have so far to go.
Yeah, I don't think.
Small step. What would be a small step?
I mean, just take this, like I said before, take it for what it is, a learning experience. It's an example of what we're capable of when we use our strength to our advantage.
Yeah.
And that's something we don't do and something we will probably is going to take some years to do, in my opinion.
So I would think, and y'all can tell me this too far, bless you, or whatever. Just think about slavery. Why were we chose to be enslaved? That's because of our mentality, our strength. A lot of people are so fearful of us not because of we can harm them. It's because of our mind. It's something
Right.
about the melanin. It's something about us as Black people that we are phenomenal. And I don't think we hone in on our capabilities as much as we should. And I talk about this all the time. I so believe why we were chosen to be the slaves is because they know we're powerful. We built this country. It's so many, and now they're bringing out all the historical moments of, well, it was a Black man that invented the chair from the beginning.
Right.
Like, we've had so many inventions taken away from us, and I'm not making this a black and white thing. I'm making this a factual thing.
Fact, yeah.
That we are a powerful people, and if we stop allowing everyone else to enslave us and know our worth and know our value, I think it would be this first step is to just knowing us and loving us.
So we discussed this before about something that Kanye West said that, in his opinion, slavery was a choice.
Don't believe that.
Well, I think to a certain degree it is. It was a choice. So they didn't. Of course, we were also sold and traded into slavery by Africans. Mm-hmm. What kept us slaves for 400 years?
Mentality.
Us being fearful that if we got away or we broke loose, they would kill us.
That's a choice.
It's a choice.
Okay.
It's a choice.
So the
You're going by the verbiage.
Yeah.
well,
But who want to
Verbiage.
die?
Nobody.
I get you.
Yeah.
So you had slaves that jumped off the ship.
Yeah.
They knew what was coming for them.
Yeah.
And so it's still a choice. It's a harsh choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice that if I make this decision, I will die. Yeah. You had slaves once they got here that died because they would not comply. So if everybody did not comply, you would not have had the institution of slavery.
Yeah.
Now, do I expect everybody to die?
Please don't.
Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a choice.
Yeah.
And you have to have the wherewithal, the gumption, and the balls, the whatever you want to call it, to stand up to something that you disagree with.
Yeah.
Chances are, especially if you're one of the first to do it, the consequences for standing up for yourself and making a decision are dire.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not dead, your life is ruined.
Yeah.
You look, they done cut off something, cut your tongue out, they done did something.
Right. So, you know, I guess in that aspect of it, it's a choice that we put ourselves in a long time ago. And I think right now, because of the mentality that we have, is that we refuse to be slaves. And if we can keep that same mentality without the violence necessarily, but the attitude that we should have had back then, where we refused to be slaves, if we had that attitude now that we refuse to play second class in this society, we can do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where it may not be death, the consequences for standing up for yourself are sometimes pretty serious, and that stops us from doing it. So you have the institution of slavery, and you have the institution of whatever this is going to be called 200 years from now.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to stand up for yourself. I think what excited a lot of black people that could never see themselves as being slaves is how we stood up for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we came to the defense of somebody that was powerless.
Exactly.
It was just like such almost perfect correlation to what we're used to on the very grounds of a place that sold slaves.
Exactly.
And the more these little facts came out, the more excited black people got.
Exactly.
If we can go on from here and what we could take from this, I want you to take how good this felt and carry that on with some of the things that we need to do going forward.
Yeah.
Like Mel said, we have years.
Yeah.
And I would say probably more than years, probably a generation or two before we're actually able to get out of it.
Absolutely.
But we have some work to do. I just want people. That's why I hate having all these new black holidays and shit added.
Yeah.
Like Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Man, that's our shit.
Yeah.
Not the South.
Yeah.
That's Texas.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't turn this shit into a goddamn national holiday. Man, y'all they don't apply to none of you niggas.
Yeah.
That's our shit. Y'all let Biden, I'm sorry, I had to throw it. Y'all let Biden chunk y'all a bone into thinking this is something that you're doing for all black people. Yeah. It's not. You discovered something new that you can exploit. Fuck all that. Hold on to what this feels like. Remember what it feels like to stand up for yourself and do things. Nobody helped us.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
Carry that same mentality forward, and man, there's no telling what we can do.
So let me ask you this. So with them trying to now take all the black history and everything that was related to slavery out of the Florida schools, do you feel like that's a help or a hindrance? Does it allow us to forget and not be able to I'm gonna put this disclaimer out. For as our history, nobody can tell it better than us, in my opinion. And it shouldn't just be contingent on the schools teaching our children about our history. We should have that in our homes as well. So that's just my first disclaimer. Right. But, what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's a help or a hindrance that they're taking that out of schools? What's your point of view on them definitely trying to do that? What's going on right now?
So I would like to, I wasn't expecting that question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm aware that there's something going on in Florida. I need to really look into exactly what it is.
They're trying
So
to
I'm
take
not
it out.
so I'm not exactly sure that that's what it is. But if it is, that's a problem. The same way that you would ban Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, you can't just get rid of history.
That's right.
Okay,
It still exists.
Yes,
it still exists. So because of that, I'm gonna not comment, and I'll actually look into this
Okay.
and speak on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If to remove it from the history books, I'm not exactly sure that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But if
They're trying to remove it from being taught as part of the
from being
curriculum
taught,
in
yeah.
Florida.
if that's what's going on, that's
yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
I completely disagree with it.
yeah.
But I would like to know the nuance.
Of the reason why.
Right.
Yeah.
But there should be no reason why for you to get rid of it.
Well, for them to even bring it up, like what would prompt you to think that our history isn't as important as everyone else's?
So from what
Why?
I've witnessed, as far as me really getting into politics, 'cause I used to not give a fuck about politics,
Right.
and then lately it's like, whoa, I don't have the luxury of not
Yeah,
pay attention to politics.
absolutely.
I don't think I'm not sure if it's being presented in the proper way, so I need to find out exactly what it is
Gotcha.
before I speak on it, because I try not to talk about shit that I don't know. And I
Exactly.
actually
All
don't
right.
know.
Yeah, it's really going on. So check it out and
I
just and from my perspective, if they are, I feel that is a horrible thing to do because each child should have a right to know their history. They shouldn't just be teaching history in white America. It
A
should
generic
be-
version.
What are they
Exactly.
replacing it with?
They didn't say they were replacing it.
Yeah, I didn't
with
hear
anything
anything.
They're just going to say
yet.
it didn't happen?
They were
Yeah.
talking about just removing it altogether. That's not
Especially
a
in
part of
Texas.
the curriculum that they will teach. And this is what's going on with Florida, where they're actually trying to pass it at this moment.
And in Texas, they're
Trying to do the same
I think
thing.
Dan Patrick is doing the same thing.
See?
He told them Texas Tech, I think, could
Yeah.
not teach that curriculum.
Yeah, they have some schools that are
So
really
let's do
trying to
this.
alleviate
Let's
it
do this.
altogether.
Let's do our homework,
Yeah,
because we haven't necessarily broke anything down. We're just saying what they said. I would love to actually do
Get
our
the
research
statistics on it.
and then
Yeah.
we do a real discussion on
Right,
it,
right.
because I think it's worth.
oh, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that's the case and it's that surface level,
Yeah.
that bear is disgusting.
Oh yeah,
You know, and
absolutely.
I have an issue with it. But like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm leaving
and that's
alone.
the other thing. We have a lot of young people that are into politics, but
Yeah.
for us all to get more involved, and then we can know what our local leaders are, what they're about, what they're trying to pass, what they're gonna do, and we gotta let them know when it's not acceptable. Because I don't think we do it enough.
But how many
just
of
don't.
us actually get involved and say, hey, I need this street fixed. I
Yeah.
need this. Because some of the stuff that they do in the hoods and some of that stuff, that they're
I
not going to do
know.
that in the vanilla areas.
Exactly.
So I was literally today while I was taking my shower, I like to listen to some podcast. Well, it's not necessarily podcast, because this is the Big Boy show. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Big Boy in LA. He had Killer Mike on the show.
Okay.
And Killer Mike is heavily involved in. He called himself a hyper local. So he's very much entrenched in the things that are going on in local government in Georgia. You know, a lot of people were criticizing him for taking a picture with a Republican governor, and I don't know this governor's name, but that governor actually adopted some policies that were democratic in nature because it actually benefited the people in Georgia.
Exactly.
And so people criticized him for taking a picture, but they didn't understand the
Why?
right.
What
And there were
the
people
law
outside of
was.
Georgia that was criticizing it.
Yeah.
And so if you guys could check that out, it's the Big Boy Show. I don't think it's the morning show, but the Big Boy Show, and it has Killer Mike on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So, and I say that just based on what Mel said, that, you know, because I like to laugh and joke about Trump and Biden and stuff like that. But things that benefit us the most are the the local elections,
Right.
things that directly affect us that we actually have more control over.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think he said 10 neighbors to your left and 10 neighbors to your right, and you talk to them and get them on the same page. And then you,
there you go.
Yeah.
But if we could stop doing what our mom said, vote all Democratic. You a Democrat. Oh my God, I do not do that. If I don't know that leader,
that earlier?
If I don't know that leader, did y'all really without me?
Before you came in, we were just chopping it up. But we're literally talking about that very thing.
Yeah, and I refuse to do it. So I never would tell my mom that I didn't do it. Because if I felt, and doing my research in college, if I felt like that Republican had a better stance than the opponent, which was a Democrat running against him, I voted for who I thought was best.
Right.
And that fit my views.
But I think that's difficult. Because sometimes, the reason why I say that is because we hold our elders in a certain reverence.
Yeah.
So we automatically assume they know everything.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they don't.
Exactly.
They know a lot. And there are things that you can glean from their experience.
Absolutely.
And once you do that, you can apply that to modern times.
Yeah.
I share an anecdote with y'all. I don't date white women. I don't date out of my race. Let a Mexican or two slide through.
You're so stupid.
But
Lord have mercy, help him, Lord.
I date exclusively black women because I love my black women. I feel like they can be difficult, but I love them. So I was dating a young lady. I won't say her name. And I was at Bel Air High School. And she walked me to my car. You know, my aunt and uncle raised me. So she lived through the Great Depression and the Civil Rights Movement, the whole nine. And
the woman you was dating?
No,
how old was she?
no. My aunt.
That's what I thought. I was like, damn.
Son, what was you doing? That's molestation.
And she was still in high school?
Oh my gosh! You
got a dumb white
you
bitch.
said she was at the high school. You said she went there.
Oh my God! Look,
Was
I'm
she a
glad we
teacher?
cleared
No,
that
my
shit
aunt.
up.
My aunt.
Okay.
And
We
so
back on the right page.
the white chick walked me to the car, and before I got in the car, I kissed her. And I got in the car, and my aunt cursed me smooth the fuck out.
She did.
And I'm like, oh my God, you're a racist. You know? But even though I thought that, I understood that where she was coming from was based on how she was raised, but how she was treated in everyday life. You would have an issue with that. That has stuck with me for the remainder of my life, and I don't know if that's exclusively why I don't date white women. I prefer dark-skinned women to begin with.
Right.
You know, the darker the better. Both of my kids' moms are black as hell. But I like dark skin, But so a white woman is just the farthest thing from that. But also I know that there's a stigma placed upon me dating a white woman. So, I mean, I don't know how much of what we've been taught that we carry on with us simply because a person is white, you know? So we talked about, my grandparents or my parent may vote a certain way, and they tell me, you need to vote this way because. And circumstances have changed since then, but I never go back and revisit it and find out whether or not what you said to me is valid.
Right.
And so I continue to do that thing.
Yeah.
I've told y'all before, I rant and rave. Y'all ignore me because I be drinking and shit.
Yes.
90% of black people vote Democrat no matter what.
Yeah.
They know that.
Yeah.
So if they know I don't have to do a thing for this voting block of people, they're going to vote for us regardless. They don't have to do anything for us. They don't have to promise anything. They can just continue doing whatever it is they want to do.
They don't.
If I want to interview somebody that's going to sway you guys to vote for me, I'll get Cardi B. I love Cardi B. I actually love her rise to where she is now.
She has
But
good
she
views.
has no business speaking for black people. She's not black.
Yeah.
No,
But
she's not.
also because you're gonna get, I can't buy it. Go, you know. But you won't get Ice Cube on there.
Yeah.
You won't get Killer Mike on there.
You won't get somebody that'll talk intelligently.
I can see you not getting Professor Griff.
Yeah.
'Cause he's so extreme.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that's going to actually ask you some real things instead of the fluff that you got from Cardi B.
Right.
You know, and so when I try to speak to the people that I know, it's not so much that I'm super conservative or anything like that. Just make these motherfuckers work for your vote.
Yeah.
I said just to bring it back with, we often stick with whatever it is that we've been brought up thinking, and we rarely go into
Totally
it
agree.
looking into something a little bit more accurate to what we're living and to what we actually as individuals have, what we actually believe.
But like I told you earlier, Sean, I can't teach you something I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, if my parents don't know, or if their parents didn't know to teach them, or they only going about what they understand and what they know, so they can only instill in you what they know.
Yeah.
So,
And I went against the grain. I ain't give a shit. I just didn't tell her. Shit. I ain't tell them I wasn't doing it.
Have you ever
But
voted for a Republican ever?
Yes.
Actually, you have.
Yes. And that's what I was saying. Like, if it was a Republican that I felt was my view, somebody who stood for me, somebody that I've researched, somebody who I like, I will. I'm not going to just vote straight Democrat.
Just
and it's
because
Democrats
you're a Democrat.
I didn't vote for. I would just leave that line blank. If I didn't agree with the liberal, the Democrat, or the Republican, nobody got my vote. And that's just what I live by. And I do go against the grain, but I wasn't going to tell my mom and grandmother that.
Because they wouldn't
just don't say shit.
understand,
Yeah,
or-
because they wouldn't understand, because they'll be like, you a broke nigga. What are you doing voting for a Republican? You know, if I would have did it, because that would have been, well, my grandmother ain't going to cuss because she a preacher. But, you know, they would have let me know, like, why are
but
you
because their stigma is Democrats did for them what they could not do.
Exactly.
So Republicans was always have their foot on their neck and da 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 da. So in their mind, I'm not gonna vote for that person.
That's right. That's right. And that is a stigma.
Yeah, but Lincoln was not Lincoln. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
Republican.
But he had a lot of Democratic views.
He did.
How so?
In my opinion.
He did. He had a lot of Democratic
because of
views.
how he fought for certain laws for certain people.
Yeah.
There was, in my opinion, he had a lot of Democratic views. He wasn't just
gang
like
of Democratic
I can't
views.
really explain it to you how I want to put it into.
So, you know,
the
Democrats were, the KKK. That's a Democratic organization.
Understood.
So
And when I found that out, that was quite shocking.
there's a whole lot of things that we attribute to Republicans that are actually Democratic in nature.
Right.
And so then you can make the argument that, well, that was 200, 300 years ago. Things change. Well, yeah, possibly. But historically, Republicans have been on this. Martin Luther King was a conservative.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So Malcolm. I'm saying Jamal Warner. Malcolm
Jamal
X.
Warner.
Malcolm X preached against the liberals, the white liberals, and the impact that they have in regards to black people. I don't like liberals. I'm very weary of any white person that shows more interest in my freedom than actual black people.
Yeah.
I have an issue with that.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Get out of our business.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way. What black people need is for white people to get the fuck out the way and let us do us. Don't hinder us and don't help us because you don't know exactly what it is that we need and what we want. So you can offer us holidays. You can tear down a statue or two for us. But I don't truly think that you understand what it's like to be black and what we need. What we need is for you to leave us the fuck alone. And that's my main thing.
Yeah.
So when I see Nancy Pelosi and the rest of these motherfuckers coming in the shikis and getting on a knee and holding up the fist, I don't feel any solidarity with you. I feel offended.
So you don't feel any solidarity for any race other than black people to fight the fight?
Our fight, just black people. No other single race should have anything to say to help us in any way, shape, or form. We got enough. We have enough black scholars and people that are smart enough to help us and to get us where we need to be. We don't need your help.
I can agree.
I'm weary of you. I don't
agree.
trust you. Real quick, I went to a poetry event. I did a poem. And so what I found out, if I drink, I'm subject to forget my shit. And so I went to this poetry event, and I think I had a vodka and cranberry. I didn't perform. I mean, I didn't drink before I performed. I performed, and at the end of the thing, I left. I was with Sharonda. And we were coming up.
This past weekend?
No, this was
it's
5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm coming up, I want to say Westheimer.
Okay.
And then there's a left that you can make that you can get on the 45 and hop on the freeway.
Okay.
But that left is illegal. So you got to go all the way down to the light, either make a U-turn or whatever, and come back. And I made a left. Burp.
Of course.
Immediately. I like, okay, got me.
Yeah.
I pulled over, and the guy's like, did you drink? Have you been drinking or whatever? He was cool. No, so he walked to the car. I said, I have a firearm in the car. And he said, where is it? I said, it's under my seat. He said, okay, just keep it there or whatever. Have you been drinking? I like, yeah, I had a vodka and cranberry. He said, okay. You made an illegal left turn, and since you admitted to drinking, I got to do field sobriety. I'm like, not a problem. So I step out the car, we go to the back of the car, and he get the little blue light on the pin, and he does the thing. There's a white woman that's walking down the sidewalk. And I was with Sharonda. You can ask her about it. She's coming down the sidewalk, so she stops, and she looks.
Oh, my gosh.
She stops, and she's looking, and a guy, I pass this field sobriety test. He goes and writes my ticket. So while I'm standing there by myself, she goes, sir, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just getting a ticket. Okay. And she just stands there. And she doesn't, and the guy was I want to say he was in the Air Force or some shit, and I was in the Navy. And so we start talking shit to each other about the military, which is what military people do. He writes me my ticket, and I go on my way. That white woman did not move until I drove off. Well, I know that in her mind, she's looking out for me. But also in my mind is,
why you being so damn nosy?
Well, not being nosy, I'm not a child.
Yeah.
I don't need your help. But you assume that anytime a black man gets stopped by the police, that they're in some sort of danger. I don't want that. And I would assume, and I don't know, I would assume that most black men don't want you looking at us like children, like somebody that you have to lord over or protect. We don't want to be protected. Once again, we want to be treated equal, and we want you to get out of our way. And so that's where I get a lot of what I think from. There's some flaws to it, to be sure, because a lot of it has a lot to do with what your experiences are, but that's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, because of the experience. Because what if it's where that particular woman, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, have seen a police officer treat a black man some sort of way, and at that moment, maybe she didn't do anything that time, and she was like, that's not going to happen this time. I'm going to stay to make sure they're okay. So I would not lie to you and tell you that I feel like every other race is against us or have an issue with them, because truth be told, I have been blessed a lot of times by other races. I just look at it in as a whole, because it's some bad apples in all races. And then it's some good apples in all races.
Right.
So, I can understand, because everybody experience is different, and I'll never knock anybody experience, but from my experience, like the lady that I was telling you guys about off camera, the one that was racially negative, her and her husband towards me, That was one incident out of my whole life. Don't know what's been done behind my back. Couldn't even tell you, but in my face, to have somebody bold enough to do what she did, that was the one incident that I had. But I didn't let that scar me from being that way about all races, because I have
there are some good
wonderful friends that are races that have actually treated me better than my own. So you know, and I just have a different view about certain things, and I just feel like, man, everybody should just respect each other, and just think how different it'll be.
What you got over there, Bill?
Miss Joanne is going ham.
Okay, come on.
What you say, Miss Joanne?
Okay, Miss Joanne said it is better for us to vote independent. What benefits you and your reality is where your vote should go, whether Democrat, Republican, or independent. That's just my opinion. So what do y'all think?
That's a great point.
I think
I
have no issue with that.
Yeah,
I have no issue with that.
We have 24 comments. Read us some more. 25.
Miss Shaky. People want to just go with whatever one else wants to instead of looking for themselves. We have to do better in all aspects. That is true. Mm-hmm. We do.
Agreed.
That is totally true. It's just Shaky and Miss Joanne going back and forth. That's where their comments are coming. Well, that's where my comments look.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hold on. Miss Joanne did say, I'm skeptical of prominent blacks that get quiet when we need their voice. So we have to have a mixed group for the cause. Yes. That is a true statement.
Yes.
That is a really true statement. And Shaky did say, facts, Miss Joanne.
Yeah.
That is, they're just going back and forth on what the comments are. It's no. Oh, Miss Tellis Stickhorn Johnson.
Oh, that's the guy. That's Tellis.
Oh,
that's
Mr.
my brother.
Tellis.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Tellis. I'm sorry. That is the only city that we have Confederate parades on MLK Day.
Did not know that.
Woo. Woo. And he has traveled everywhere. He's another military guy, Air Force, retired from it. And he's been in all kind of sticky situations.
Yeah. I did not know they have.
Wow, that was some
Confederate
good info. Thank you, brother.
Parades on MLK Day.
Yeah.
And so if that's in that area, if that's the only place that they have that may have also fueled the response that they got on that. Yeah, you know,
I could agree.
Explains a lot.
I totally agree.
Yeah, so I mean, you really don't know. You can't ignore the racial element to it, but I wonder just how much of a racial element there was, and whether or not though that exact same circumstance can be duplicated in other places. This is just a truly unique situation. I can't really think of any situation that compares to it in my 52 years that I've seen. And this is not necessarily a big thing.
Yeah.
But thanks to social media, because this may have happened before.
Yeah.
But thanks to
social media.
In small towns, it happens all the time.
Yep.
Trotted in a small town.
Hey, listen, I'm so serious. I'm from a small town, and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I don't know, Sean.
I mean, we've all said our point of view.
We have.
If there are other comments out there.
I didn't see any more. It was just.
We would love to hear because I think it went up to 26. I don't know if Tellis was.
Let me see. Let me go back. Yeah, it's at 20. Well, mine was on 25.
Miss Joanne said back in the day, blacks were Republicans because we were more conservative.
Miss Joanne, really? I think now that you mentioned that blacks are conservative now. I think overall blacks are conservative people. We believe in God. Even with me, I'm not religious, but I know for a fact that black people believe in God. We believe in hard work. We're just a more conservative people, even with some of the stuff with the LGBT. We have very concrete ideas on that, and a lot of that goes back to religion and what we believe. We're just a conservative group of people. We just tend not to vote that way.
Yeah.
That's not me trying to recruit anybody to vote conservative, but for a lot of us, especially us older, I'm 52. For a lot of us, and I've always voted Democrat until the very last election. If you're here and you're somewhere in the middle, which I think a lot of the country is, and you got the right here, Republicans, you got the left here, Democrats and liberals, that left has moved so far this way, you have left people being conservative by default. You're expecting, not you, Miss Joanne, but the climate people are expecting you to take you from here all the way here, and that's not realistic. Yeah. And so you put people in a position where it's just like, well, I'm conservative by default. I can't get with this. No matter what you tell me, I flat out cannot deal with you killing babies and thinking it's okay. I cannot deal with you giving puberty blockers and allowing a 12-year-old, 11-year-old to decide what their gender is. I can't do that. Where does that leave you? Yeah. That leaves you on the conservative side. So you have not changed. The climate has shifted so far that you have pushed people into a conservative role. Yeah. And so you take a group of people that were already conservative and put them in that environment, you are creating more conservatives. And I think the Democrats are probably going to lose this next election.
Oh, I'm more than sure of it.
Yeah,
she was saying that she didn't know Sean's name.
Sean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she missed his name. Yeah, she said, "True, sir, 100%. Sorry, I missed your name."
That's okay, love. Sean P.
It's two Seans.
I personally look at things like this. So if we were all in a room and we turn around, and the people that are talking that are conservatives, Democrat, Republicans, blah, 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 whatever, and you put up a wall and you distort their voice, who would you pick if they're telling the truth? If they're telling you what actually is what you need to hear, it doesn't matter what race, what Republican, Democrat, whatever they are. Pick the person that's telling your better truth. And you will be amazed at who you pick. Instead of just saying, a blind test. Yeah, blind test. Let's just do the blind test for the sake. So if you're just picking, instead of picking the Democrats, instead of picking the Republicans or the conservatives or whatever, if we just stand there and we turn around, they turn around, we put up a blind sheet, a black wall, whatever. Yeah. And we pick the person that's a distorted voice. We don't know who Trump is. We don't know Biden is. We don't know Clinton. We don't know Obama. We don't know which voice is what. But we're picking the right person that is for the job. Yeah. That's how I look at stuff.
Well, I mean, I have to agree with you. Yep. So my thing is, if I'm talking to you and I have to have a full-blown conversation about what a woman is, then we have some fundamental differences.
Yeah, we have a bunch of them.
Am I saying the wrong thing?
I have a fundamental.
Because that was one of our...
Just go and tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is.
If we're going to ignore Title 19 and we're going to allow grown men to compete against women in sports.
God, don't get me started.
And I can't tell you, and I don't give a damn whether or not you make them take some meds to cut down their testosterone. They've had 19, 20, 22 years of testosterone to build up their bone density and their tendons and their muscle mass. And then you jump out there. And that's just on that particular issue. There's a fundamental difference that we have. So there's more to it than that, but I can't align myself with you because I disagree.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
I just completely disagree with that.
Exactly.
You know, so, and I know we're supposed to be talking about the riverboat thing, but
I mean, it all derives from
because there's a racial component to it.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it was just worth mentioning. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I got a good question for y'all. So what would y'all tell your kids? So say for instance, if you had a school-age child, how would y'all explain what just happened and how to conduct themselves? I just want to know. No.
Oh, can I go first? Because mine is real simple.
No.
Mine is real simple because it doesn't matter the race.
Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true. That's a good one.
Because if you would have kept your hands to yourself, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
None.
Oh, keep your hands to yourself. Just follow the rules.
That'll solve a lot of shit.
That's it.
Yeah. Mel, what about you?
I would totally agree.
Yeah.
I just would say, hey, listen. And to she said this is great dialogue.
Is that Miss Joanne?
Yeah, I'm
Miss
just
Joanne.
I'm trying to keep up because baby, she going at it. I'm trying to keep up, Miss Joanne.
Please tell us what you would tell your child if you had a school-age child for this situation.
And I'll read it out loud.
Yeah, and we're going to read it.
If I had a school-age child, I do have a grandson that's 3. But if I had a school-age child that is looking at this and saying, oh my gosh, this is a melee. Keep your hands. I have to totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself. Because soon as you swing on me, the party is over. The bets are woman, man, child, whatever.
It don't matter.
The bets are off.
I respond is how I respond. You may not like it.
No.
Exactly.
But who are you to determine how I'm going to respond to you?
You don't have
you don't have that right no more.
That's right.
You don't have that right.
I may respond with my hands.
Yeah.
I may respond with a chair.
Yeah.
I may respond with a knife or a pistol.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. You do not know.
And lose the... Man, I hate doing this, but let's just do it.
Let's do it.
I'm white. I can do whatever I want to do.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As much as I there's a lot of white privilege out there.
It's too much.
And I don't necessarily think white privilege is, and somebody's gonna get on my ass for it. And I don't necessarily think it's that big of an issue. But for me to sit here and say that white privilege doesn't exist is bullshit.
You be lying to yourself.
Yeah,
even to white people that it doesn't apply to.
Exactly.
They still think they have it.
Yeah.
And I think they're finding out slowly but surely that you're a nigga.
Yeah.
You may be white.
Yeah.
But you're a nigga.
Yeah.
Because you're not the right type of white.
Yeah.
And so I need you to fall in line with the rest of us niggas.
Yeah.
And behave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened, I don't like ignorance. I have a low tolerance for ignorance. In this instance, those white people were acting like niggas. What white people would normally attribute to niggas, that's what y'all did. The only thing y'all didn't do was twerk on the dock.
That was it.
That's
Otherwise, y'all acted like the very thing that
y'all call us
for. Niggas.
Y'all call us.
The only difference is
y'all
paid swiftly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
see,
comically.
You cannot talk about, blacks and Latinos and any other race. Oh, and if you vanilla, you cannot talk about any other race.
You love that vanilla thing.
I love it. Because I try not to say the other. You cannot talk about us and say, oh, that this is what they do. Okay, so when your race do that, what are they doing?
What y'all not do now?
Because y'all do this. Yeah. Y'all do this.
Yeah.
But y'all don't want to say that.
Yeah.
And we are already categorized as, this is what they do, blah, blah, blah. No. Y'all do that too.
Yeah.
Y'all just don't have the hands that we have.
Yeah.
When it comes down to that. Because you saw
tough white folks.
Yeah, stop saying that. You're gonna get white. You're gonna get niggas beat up.
No. But I'm saying that I'm not talking about hearing. I'm talking about at that moment.
I'm just saying. Well, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about at that moment. Because
I don't want to pump up black people's head.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that.
White people
because if you ain't got no hands or not.
white people are not bitches.
Nope.
They're not.
People.
Yep.
They
Just
are
like
people.
Yep.
So this is a good instance where people are just people.
Yep.
And I'm talking
There
about
you
this
go.
instance. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about any other,
Yeah,
any other
yeah.
time or anything. Don't come out your house thinking that you could slap,
Right.
Paul and think that
No,
you're
no,
going to
no,
get away
don't do
with
that.
it.
Right.
No, that ain't going to do that. But I'm talking about this instance.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Karen was coming down and she, oh my gosh, you did it. No, and she got her ass whooped. But that, you can't do that to everybody and then think that, oh, that's going to fly.
Because
This
what
is
y'all
not.
did to that dude, to take black out of it, was fucking.
It was
Yeah.
just stupid.
We already said no matter who it was, what
I don't
color
care
it
if he was
was.
green.
It
And
didn't
then
matter.
if I'm
That
not
was
mistaken,
wrong.
and like
Wrong
I
is
said, I'm
wrong.
gonna try to put as much of this footage on here as I can.
Yeah.
They're gonna put the child thing on it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
There's a couple
got
y'all was
31?
stomping.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all was,
is
yeah,
wrong.
but y'all was putting your
And
feet
they was
on.
kicking.
They
yes,
were.
That
They
was
were.
wrong on every freaking level.
Yeah,
On every level.
So I mean, it's
Asses needed to be whooped.
asses needed to be whooped.
Yeah.
Oh, Mel,
I ain't
tell
never
us.
met
Please,
Miss
go
Joanne.
ahead. Go ahead.
Look, I ain't never met Miss Joanne, but I
Come
know
on,
her.
Miss Joanne. Get into it. Get
Miss
into it.
Joanne says sometimes you have to make an example
Yeah, absolutely
of
right.
what are the risks to understand.
Yeah.
And I don't advocate violence. I
Exactly.
totally agree.
Exactly.
Sometimes you do have to make an example out of
You
some
do.
folks.
You do.
Wait, I have had the same conversation with my kids and my grands, and they get the 3 strikes. You get the 3 strike rule. Don't start it, but I will finish it. Tell the teacher first. They keep it upbeat, and they ask straight up, no chaser. I ain't
Exactly.
mad. I'm not mad.
Exactly.
So real quick, Noah got into one fight in school that I can remember. That I heard about. And so they called and said, hey, Noah got into a fight. I got to come up here. I'm like, oh, shit. I know Noah's not violent.
Yeah.
But I went up there, and his mom went up there. Sharonda came up there. And I walked in the school a little embarrassed because my son is niggering. And I got in there, and Noah's in the front. And I kind of looked at him. He's looking at me, and I'm like, you all right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. All right. Well, I'll talk to you in a minute. And then we went back there. All of us went back there, and we talked to the principal. And the principal was like, yeah, so here's the deal. Noah got into a fight with this kid. The kid's a known troublemaker. We never have any issues with Noah. He told us, circumstances behind the fight. And he was like, well, we're not going to suspend the kid. And the reason why is because if we suspend him, we have to suspend Noah. Right. Fighting is fighting. And that was it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of, we didn't congratulate Noah, but, we did take him to McDonald's. First of all, he won.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that question. I'm sorry.
But no, he's a big dude. He's always been bigger than.
Yeah.
That doesn't equate to being able to fight, but he can handle himself. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't want to. He's not a fighter.
He's not a
fighter.
Just don't bother me, sir. Leave me alone.
Rather than fight you, I'd rather get your gamer tag on pit.
Exactly.
Right.
I'll beat your ass on this
beat your
goddamn
ass
game.
that way. Yeah.
But that's the way it was. But I firmly believe that sometimes violence is necessary to get your point across.
Yes.
And I know it sounds bad, but violence keeps people in check.
People in check and people off of you.
So when you say that I don't condone violence, I personally do.
In some instances.
I'm not going to qualify it with certain instances.
But is violence if it's protecting yourself violence?
Yes.
You still think that's violence?
Well, so
I don't call it violence. Protecting
are
myself.
you
I don't.
physical?
Yeah, if you're protecting yourself, I'm saying I'm calling it protect myself. I ain't calling
you're
it
saying
violence.
unprovoked violence.
Yeah.
No,
If you're saying if you're not bothering anybody and they come at you and they attack you, I'm not gonna say I acted violent. I protected myself.
You protected yourself violently.
Nah, I still ain't gonna even use that word.
No, I mean, but it is you can't redefine what the word
Shit,
is.
I can.
You
I'm
know
sure.
what? I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Because my daughter was getting bullied
Yeah.
when she was in school.
Did you realize
Because-
how big she was?
Because she did not realize how big she was,
Right.
how tall she was. How,
my bad,
and-
Journey. She's not. I did not mean big.
No.
That's not what I
she's
meant.
Tall. Journey is tall, and being in the 7th and 8th grade, Journey was the tallest in the class. So she would get bullied a lot. And she would come home, she was crying, and I was getting frustrated with it. I just, at some point, I just was like, I wanted to say, just kick their ass and just be done. But that's me, you know, and I didn't want to put that on her because that's not her way. That wasn't her way. She just wanted to be friends, and she just wanted to, we could play together, And she was like, just, why do they keep messing with me? And so one point, it was 2 girls in the classroom, and they would go, and she would cry, and she would just cry, and the teacher would call, and So at one time, she was in a class, and I guess she just got frustrated, and she was just like, you know what? They was throwing things at her. They were literally bullying my child, and the one girl, she stood up, and the teacher was still in the classroom, and she just swung at Journey. And I guess in her mind, Journey was like, you know what? I'm sick of you, your mama, and 3 people that look like you. So she beat the crap out of this one girl. And the other girl decided to jump in. And the teacher was like, I just let her beat her ass. I was tired for her. Yeah. And and when she called me, because literally Journey beat their ass. And when I got to the office, they called my mom first because I was at work, and my mom was like, Journey was at school and she was fighting. And the first thing came out of my mouth, did she win? Yeah. That was the first thing came out of my mouth.
Because your child isn't violent, so you know something had to cause the issue.
And if you push a person, and that's my thing, you push a person to, and if they're not bothering you, they're not doing anything, you're pushing a person to be something that they're coming out and they're saying, you know what, I got to defend myself at some point. Yeah. When we get to the office, the principal, the principal called me, and of course she called the other child's mom. The mom comes to me, well, your kid did. I say, hold on, wait a minute. Because I'm not my kid. I kick your ass in this classroom. I don't give a shit. Yeah. So the lady was like, well, your kid she was beating on my kid. And I say, but look at what your kid have been doing for the last 3 months.
Where were you at then?
Where were you then?
Yeah.
Now that the bully is getting beat up, now you have a problem. Yeah. And so when violence come, I don't condone it fully, but I condone it in a way.
Yeah, when you're protecting yourself.
Yeah, when you're protecting yourself, I condone it.
Yeah, because even when you're retaliating, it's still violence.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not rocking with you.
No, I hear what you're saying.
It is violence.
It's violent. It's just the definition of the word. Now, there's...
Let me see if we got some.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, let's take it on the bigger scale. Let's say if Pearl Harbor, America got bombed. That was violent.
Yeah, it was.
I react to retaliation.
It was.
That was violence. It's just violence. It is what it is.
It kind of is what it is.
Because if you bother me, I'm protecting myself. Because I guarantee you I wasn't bothering you.
Violence.
So
I think the word is kind of throwing you off.
I know what violence means. But when we innocent folks, get to protecting ourselves, that's protecting
Baby, I got to beat Miss Joanne. She is hilarious.
What she say?
She's laughing at me. She's like, I'm dying laughing, and I'm sick of you, your mama, and who that look like you. And that's honestly, Miss Joanne, that's how I felt. I'm sick of all of y'all, doggone it. That was how my daughter felt too. It says it's self-defense, and self-defense is violent in the by definition, but it's different in the contents when you're protecting yourself.
I got you.
That's true.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I need y'all to give us some final words.
I don't necessarily have any final words other than I want to thank the participants in the Montgomery Riverboat Brawl for the entertainment. the that made me feel good. That really made me feel good to see black people stick together for something noble. A lot of times, just like, unfortunately, when I first saw the footage, my first instinct was that I saw a bunch of black people acting like niggas. And I am slightly ashamed that I didn't watch the video and figure out what was going on before I made a decision on what was going on.
Right.
But eventually I did sit down and say, let me take a look at this, and I saw it. I see us mobbing up and doing a lot of dumb shit that I don't agree with. That fueled my initial response to seeing the footage. I want us to look at this and see how much power we can have. We are a minority in every sense of the word, but we have a lot of power when we stick together. Take this, enjoy it for the entertainment that it is.
Yeah.
The memes and everything else. But also take this as an analog or something that we can actually look at and say, this is what we're capable of if we put our minds together, if we can come together on something that we all agree with, what we can accomplish. And this isn't about going up and beating white people or any other race, but it's also beating the shit out of a black person that we see harm a black woman, a child, or anything that we see is going wrong in the world that harms us, whether in a white environment, in the hood, or whatever. Do this. And I swear to God, I'm behind you 100%. I will even participate. Let's just do that. And this is what I get out of this. So for the time being, enjoy the memes.
Yeah.
Get you a white folding chair too.
Please do.
Because
they don't hurt when you swing them.
Yeah.
They doing it all.
Whether it's official or not, I want us all to remember August 5th, 2023.
It's going down
in
history
history.
books.
This could be our new Juneteenth since Biden took the last Juneteenth from us.
But it ain't Texas though, it's Alabama. So it'll be there.
No, this is ours, motherfucker. Alabama, y'all gonna have to share this shit. Montgomery, y'all gonna have to share this. If we had to share Juneteenth, y'all gotta share this. And we got the t-shirt. We got t-shirts in the front.
Yeah.
In the office, we got t-shirts made already. Y'all share that with us.
Yeah.
Share that with us. All joking aside. And I'm being dead serious. Share this with us.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure that this lives for eternity.
Yeah.
And we with you. But all it didn't accomplish anything at all. All it did was give us a tiny glimpse into what we're capable of if we put our minds in the right place. And that's it.
That was good.
That really.
I don't even have anything
I
to
know
say.
you just took it off, Sean.
I
personally just think that if we do stick together, it'll be an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
But I just hate that this generation don't do that. They don't, but they can, but they don't.
Some of that is on us.
Yeah.
Some of it, not all.
No, some of it, not all. You're absolutely right. But I just think that with this brawl, I think that brought to light a whole different aspect on how we view a lot of things. Because some of us, we'll just step back and the first thing we do is pull out our phone and we'll do this.
I know.
We don't call for help. We don't do any extra things. We don't say further.
Just
you
want
see
good
this
footage.
Yeah, we want the footage.
We need
want
the footage.
likes. We need
the footage, but we need
But
warriors. We need
an
people that
SOS
can get
call
out.
needs to be put out too.
I mean, with the cap.
Yeah, but what
I
I
don't have my
think
cap on
is,
today, but
stupid.
I need a cap. I would have threw that bitch up.
But my thing is, it was so many different angles.
Yeah.
Of the situation.
Yeah.
That people put in because they were like, oh my gosh, he just hit. No, he hit this person for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And I don't condone full violence like that. But when you see a person getting stumped or beat on or something for no reason, for only simply doing their job, then I'm like Sean, I probably would have pitched in. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's not overlook the guy that ran and jumped in the water to get away from that ass whooping.
Yeah.
I I don't hear
He
enough
wasn't
people.
doing it.
He dove.
No,
in
he
it.
did.
Wow.
They circled a picture of him
I'm
when he
not
did it.
finna
He
get-
got in that water.
First, no, I meant to say this earlier, but did you see when Karen ran down and she was trying to get into the fight and they beat her ass and threw her in the water?
Yeah,
yeah,
put her in the
yeah.
water. Let it cool off. It's time to cool off.
Yeah, this ain't for you, baby.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
ain't for you. Stick
yeah.
to taking pictures of people at the barbecue that shouldn't be barbecuing. Do that.
Yeah. Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
The hope would be
I'm sorry.
the hope would be is that we can all just live in peace,
Yeah.
love, and respect each other. Thank you guys all for tuning in to
Yes,
this particular
yes.
dialogue. Miss Joanne, we give a special shout out to
Hell
we
yeah,
do.
man!
We
It was
love
almost
you,
like
Miss
you were
Joanne.
here.
Exactly.
Thank
We need you in the crowd, girl.
Exactly. So you gotta come and visit with us. And we just thank all of our audience members. And please, as Sean stated earlier, please subscribe to our channel, the Social Drinkers Podcast that's on YouTube. Y'all, we try to bring the best content possible for you to be able to enjoy. We talk about relatable situations, and when we get the opportunity, we bring on guests that we really think you would just really
Yes.
relate to and enjoy. And if you have ideas or topics that you want to discuss,
Drop
please
us
drop
some
them.
comments.
Exactly. We want those because we promise you, if it's something that's worth talking about, we're talking about it, and we're going to bring our perspective of it.
Yep.
With a twist.
Yeah, with the Sean P.
We do
twist.
have a Sean
Ain't
P.
nothing
twist,
like a
yeah.
Sean P. twist.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god.
Okay.
He doesn't have his hat on today, so but we give it to him.
Yes. But thank you all for joining the
Thank
Social
you.
Drinkers Podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.